Protests against the killing of another black man at the hands of police have escalated in Charlotte as the city continues to refuse to release the footage of the incident, and witnesses continue to dispute the police account of the shooting of Keith Scott. This has prompted a declaration of a state of emergency, and the mayor has said she's considering implementing a curfew as protests showed no sign of abating. On Thursday, the Charlotte police chief conceded the recording of the incident does not prove Scott was pointing a gun, continuing to refuse to release video of the shooting to the public. He did say he will share it with Scott's family.
My feelings that enough is enough. It's gone too far. The cops in America are way too aggressive. They pick on the little people. You know, America is about power, but power should be equal. No one race should dominate another race.
A peaceful rally in response to the shooting turned violent on Wednesday as officers fired rubber bullets, tear gas, flashbang grenades, and used pepper spray to disperse the crowd. Some protesters threw rocks and bottles at police in riot gear, smashed windows and doors in downtown Charlotte. According to police, Keith Scott, 43, was shot and killed by officers on Tuesday after he refused to drop a handgun. His family and a witness to the shooting said Scott was holding a book, not a firearm. One protester was shot and gravely wounded by a civilian, and 4 police officers suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Police had originally reported the individual had been killed, but later backtracked. A policeman, now identified as Brentley Vincent, also African-American, has been suspended of his duty. Local authorities said the investigation into the case is to follow. On CNN, the head of the Charlotte NAACP demanded the police release the footage of the incident.
Too often we find now that there's been some fabrications, that there's been some incidents that were not quite factual. And so I am very concerned when things don't seem to line up. And that doesn't mean that it's not true. I just need someone to prove it to me. Yeah. And I think that we have been too quick to make statements that, as I said before, demonize Mr. Scott. That concerns me.
On Wednesday, an additional witness came forward to dispute the police account of the shooting. An activist called for a boycott of Charlotte.
He's standing there like this, telling them, I don't have anything. When they did that, you hear 4 shots. Boom, 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 boom. That man hit the ground. And then they just standing there looking at him. I got it on video.
Black manhood and our black people who are being gunned down in the street, and we don't get no justice. So what I'm calling for, and what we're calling for, is an economic boycott of the whole city of Charlotte. Since black lives do not matter for this city, then our black dollar shouldn't matter.
The turmoil prompted Governor Pat McCrory to declare a state of emergency and deploy the National Guard and Highway Patrol officers to the city to help restore peace. Twitter suspended the account of University of Tennessee law professor and USA Today columnist Glenn Reynolds after he called for violence against protesters. Huffington Post preserved his tweet. Charlotte is a deeply segregated city, and the African-American community has long demanded police accountability. Those calls were highlighted in 2013 when a white officer shot and killed 24-year-old Jonathan Farrell. There were no convictions in that case, but the city settled a wrongful death lawsuit for $2.25 million. There have also been protests in Tulsa, Oklahoma in recent days, demanding the arrest of an officer seen in a video last week, fatally shooting an unarmed black man who had his hands in clear view at the time. For The Real News, this is Jessel Noor.